I mean, if you can, you know.
Let me know when you're ready.
This is a public service.
I was ready in October of 1982.
Are you ready, Mr. Myers? All right, you gave me the thumbs up. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
So, Mr. Myers, the way it works is I listen to everybody. When someone makes an objection, I listen to them. Then I'll give you a chance to respond, and then I'll rule on the objection.
Thank you.
And we just need to take turns talking, and I get to control that since I'm the judge. So, Ms. Walker, you were making an objection. Are you done with your objection?
I'm happy to read it in full, if that's helpful, but I think I got through about half of it. But the two main points are that by Mr. Myers live streaming right now, it's actually part of what has caused so much harassment for me, that as well as others. Tissue.
I'm listening.
Thank you.
So I do believe that that is a violation of the injunction as it is written.
Thank you. Mr. Myers, are you broadcasting what you're reporting right now?
122H of the Arizona Rules of Procedure.
Mr. Myers, just answer my question. Are you
Yes,
broadcasting
I am,
it?
and I'm allowed to.
And that's your reading of the rule?
Absolutely, and we can, if we want to argue it, we should do it in a contempt hearing after, not in the middle of my injunction hearing.
Anything else you want to say?
Me? Yeah, absolutely. If you're saying directly the response to that, right?
The objection?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Reply to her.
Anything else?
No, I'm saying I want to reply to her objection. Is that what you're asking me?
Anything
Yes,
else?
I do. I want to. The reason, and I've verified this with the Supreme Court multiple different times, the reason 122H exists, I can literally walk in here without, I did you a favor and notified you ahead of time today. I could have showed up at that door, and as soon as you walked in the room and you said, Your Honor, under 122H, I'm audio recording, and that's why in the rule, coverage is defined as cover and coverage. Broadcast is a separate definition under audio. This is the literal reason. You give out a Zoom link, what do you mean? That's not even an eligible argument because C, if I was requesting coverage under C, you can object. There's no objecting under H because people can walk in and say, Your Honor, I'm
Mr. Myers?
under
thank
H.
you. Thank you.
You can't, there's no
Mr. Myers.
objection to that.
Mr. Myers, I've heard enough. Thank you. The objection is overruled.
Thank
The
you.
next thing I would like to talk about is, I don't know that we'll have any more hearings on this case, but Mr. Myers, you did email my staff ahead of time.
Yep.
And I don't mind that for logistical type reasons and scheduling type things. But emailing substantive stuff about notices and filings, make sure that you just send my staff things that you've actually filed rather than just emails with substantive stuff in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I called and asked if they want me to send it as an attachment or file it through the court somehow. She said to email it to her.
Right, but just make sure you just, when it comes to substantive stuff, that you only email things you've been filed as opposed to an email that includes a bunch of citations and things along those lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you talking about don't send the request to you?
You can only email me substantive things that you've actually filed with the clerk's office.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, we didn't need to do the notice with the clerk. That's why I was confused. The notice, it literally says to file it with you, not the clerk.
But for example, you sent me an email, you sent my staff an email that had case citations.
Yeah, so that they had it ready for you today.
What I'm asking you to do is you need to file that stuff with a formal
Oh,
file.
I see what you're saying.
And then if
I got it with me too. I got it with me.
If
Yeah.
it's important that I get it right away, you can email my staff.
I didn't want you to catch you out with case law and Westlaw and then be like, oh, we got to look it up or something.
Thank you.
Here's hers.
The next thing I'd like to talk about with Mr. Myers is the injunction that was issued. Are you contesting the whole thing? Or just a
Absolutely.
certain aspect of it?
Every single thing of it.
All right, we have about an hour left today to get through this. Let me just make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of what we're doing here today. The plaintiff has the burden of proof by a preponderance of the evidence, a little more than 50%. The plaintiff has to demonstrate to me that the defendant committed harassment within the year. Harassment is a series of acts over a period of time directed at a specific person that would cause a reasonable person to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed, and in fact does so to the person and serves no legitimate purpose. The scope of what I'm looking at today is going to be limited to what's in the petition, what's been filed in the petition. Plaintiff goes first, defendant gets to respond, then plaintiff gets a rebuttal. For the plaintiff, what sort of evidence do you anticipate presenting today?
I believe I have about 12 exhibits.
Have they been marked,
They have.
given to the clerk?
They were.
Have you shown them to Mr. Myers?
Yes, we shared a.
She gave me a disc, sir. That's kind of like 1980s.
Have you,
I was told I had to bring it on a USB stick. They showed up with a CD-ROM that we haven't used since
have
2001.
you looked at those exhibits?
I can't.
Do we have hard copies of them?
They told me don't. I literally went and bought USBs just for today because that's how it was.
Let me ask the plaintiff, do we have hard copies of those exhibits?
I don't have, I have hard copies of the paper exhibits, but not of the digital ones.
Hard copies?
I just have the CDs right there. And then,
How am I going to look at the exhibits today during the hearing?
I also have them on a USB, if that's helpful.
It's not helpful because I have to go get a separate computer from IT because I'm not allowed to
Right.
put those things in a court computer. So do you have hard copies of the exhibits today?
Not of, I only have those hard copy discs that I was told to submit to the court.
I'm just not going to be able to look at them at the hearing. And I don't know how we get them admitted without somebody looking at them. Mr. Myers, I assume you're not going to stipulate to have them admitted without having looked at them yourselves?
Her evidence?
Or exhibits?
This is what she gave me.
Are you stipulating to the admission of what's in that disc?
Of course, I want to see it too. But does this court even have a way to play it over there?
Not right now. So,
Your Honor, we did come prepared with a way to play the exhibits, at least on my computer.
But not on mine.
Mr. Myers, you keep interrupting.
I'm not it.
So you have your own computer and you can show those?
Correct, I'm
exhibits?
sorry, yes.
All right. Other than the 12 exhibits, what's your other evidence?
I have those exhibits, I have an opening statement if you would like to hear it, but if you'd like to go straight into the exhibits, I'm happy to do that as well.
Any other witnesses?
No,
Are you going to be the only witness from your side?
correct.
Thank you. Mr. Myers?
Yes, sir.
What evidence did you anticipate?
What?
What evidence do you anticipate
I-
presenting?
The voice on. You got this in front of you, like the little order sheet.
That's the
The injunction itself, the petition. I plan on introducing on the 9/12 a recording of the phone call, the voicemail, and a copy of the email and paper that I gave them already. And then I have all these YouTube videos, but I'm assuming they're gonna play my YouTube videos too. But I need to put them under me too because of a case I have to appeal. You know what I mean? So I'm anticipating having to give you separate ones of these, right?
have you
Each one needs to have a separate stick, right? That's what they told me.
given that to the clerk
They said not to do it because I only had 3.
to mark as an exhibit?
They said 15 or less, you don't do that.
Have you given it to our clerk today?
This guy right here?
Yes.
Oh no, I thought you meant like downstairs. My bad. No, I mean, is that what I'm supposed to do?
Let me just ask our clerk, do you have any exhibits from the defense?
no.
No, I haven't. No, I didn't send them I was gonna send them to your email earlier, but she said don't do that.
No, not too bad. Let's see what the plaintiff presents.
Thank you,
The
thank you,
plaintiff
thank you.
presents the same thing you're anticipating, and we only need to admit it once. All right, Ms. Walker, why don't you stand up and raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes,
All right, I don't need an opening statement.
Okay.
If you want to go right into it.
sure. Your Honor, my first exhibits are related to September 12th, 2024. Mr.
What's the exhibit number?
Exhibit 1.
Can I say something real quick? Can we just make sure that we're on the same page? As far as I was concerned, the only exhibit she could bring we could talk about was these 5 things.
All of my exhibits relate directly to that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't introducing anything that wasn't on this paper.
Thank you. And just so we're all clear, it seems like we've all agreed that the evidence that I'm to hear today is limited to the scope of what's mentioned in the petition. There is some leeway on that, but that's the general.
Correct. Every single exhibit correlates to the things that are mentioned in the injunction.
Thank you.
Exhibit 1, Mr. Myers called my work number from 520-771-2021 at 8:11 a.m. and going to play voicemail as a girl.
Hi, my name is Lane Myers, 520-771-2021. I see your director of special projects. Well, I'd like to ask if you could approve a special project where you help me end your husband's career for being a crooked-ass cop, prosecutor, wannabe, whatever he is, hiding these cops from prosecution. I figured the U of A, maybe Stacy could help me. Maybe I should talk to you or Stacy or maybe one of these. Because, you know, my wife also is an alumni of the College of Law and is actually has taught there. So like we got 2 sides that are about to come crashing together here. So you can help me teach your husband how to follow the law, or I'm gonna take his career. So I figured since I'm a member of the community and my wife's an alumni of the law school, that maybe I can get access to the materials at the law school in order to fight for justice, since Stacy's all about justice. So I guess I gotta call Stacy next.
That's the conclusion of Exhibit 1.
Are you moving for the admission of Exhibit 1?
Yes, I am. I would like to admit this voicemail.
Any objection, Mr. Myers?
Nope.
It's admitted. And the phone number that was called, is that a work number or a home number?
That is my personal work, or my work number at the University of Arizona, 520-626-9223.
And what do you do at the U of A?
I work at the College of Law. I'm the Director of Special Projects. I work with the Dean.
Mr. Myers, you have your hands up.
Oh, I mean, I don't know how to well, I wanted her to finish and then, because I want to make a judicial notice of adjudicated fact.
Well, hold on one second.
Okay,
You can object.
I see what you're
There's
saying.
an objection,
All right.
and you need to tell me what that legal objection is.
You're gonna let her finish her little presentation on all the exhibits and then I go, or each exhibit and then I go back at her?
So she gets to put on her case,
All the exhibits.
her entire
Okay,
case.
okay.
If there's something you object to, you're allowed to make those objections.
In the moment?
In the moment, if
Okay.
it's a legitimate objection. Sometimes that's in the eye of the beholder.
I just wanted to make it known that she is an employee of the state of Arizona.
Mr. Myers?
Okay.
Let me finish.
All right.
I talk slowly, and so if you hear a pause, let me keep going. Once she's done with her case, then you get to present your evidence. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Walker.
Thank you. Exhibit 2 is a paper exhibit. Zoom automatically emails me a document that has a partial transcript when someone leaves me a voicemail. It also has my phone number and the phone number that I received the voicemail from. And I would like to support this, submit the supporting documentation for this call as Exhibit 2.
Any objection?
No, I called her. That's my phone number.
All right. Exhibit 2 is admitted.
The next exhibit is Exhibit 3. I believe this is the same exhibit that Mr. Myers brought. Mr. Myers emailed my husband at 8:19 a.m. stating...
Objection, Your Honor. This is her husband. The plaintiff is the plaintiff. What I sent her husband is not relevant.
The objection's overruled.
Thank you.
Stating that he was going to visit me at the law school in reference to visiting our neighbors when attempting to cite our home address. This email is Exhibit 3, and I would like to admit this document.
Can I see it?
I also brought that too.
Looking at Exhibit 3, it's an email dated September 12th of 2024. Mr. Mr. Myers, is that the same one you have?
September 12th at 8:18. I see your wife works at the U of A Law School. How ironic. Yeah.
Ms. Walker, what does your husband do?
He is a prosecutor for the city of Tucson.
And does he have any connection with Mr. Myers?
Yes, he was prosecuting a case that Mr. Myers was a defendant in, and he was the defendant at the time that Mr. Myers contacted me.
How do you know that?
I learned that after the fact when I received this voicemail. But at the time, he was still the prosecutor in the case.
Thank you. Go ahead.
The next exhibits are related to September 23rd, 2024. I would like to submit.
Objection, Your Honor. That's not on here. There's no date of September 23rd on here.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know if I said Exhibit 3 is admitted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's admitted, and then the next exhibit is with references what?
September 23rd, 2024.
That's not a, well,
What's the objection?
oh, September, I apologize. My bad, Shannon. I apologize. I didn't see the second one. I thought it was 10. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you for withdrawing that objection. Go ahead.
Exhibit 4 is a video that Mr. Myers posted on his YouTube channel discussing my husband and I. May I play Exhibit 4?
How long is it?
It's probably about 10 minutes. There were specific parts that are referenced in the injunction that I was going to show. The language that I referenced, I was basically going to just go to those parts as opposed to play the entire video.
That's not fair. Objection. Context. And we'll be here for, it's about an hour video. Some of these videos are over an hour, 2 hours long.
Can you lay the foundation for the video?
Yes, I can. The video is important because it's when
How do you know what it is?
my face, my name, my contact information is displayed in it.
You pulled up the video and
Yes, I
watched the
did.
video?
Yes, I've seen it myself multiple times.
Exhibit 4 is admitted. We're not going to spend the 10 minutes right now looking
Okay.
at it. Your next exhibit?
That is the only exhibit from September 23rd, 2024. My next exhibits are related to October 2nd, 2024.
This is Exhibit 5.
Correct. Exhibits 5, 6, and 7 are related to this. Exhibit 5 is also a YouTube video that Mr. Myers displayed on his YouTube channel. I'm happy to play the parts that are referenced in the injunction if you would like that.
How long is it?
There are,
Sir, that's going to violate decorum in this court, like confirms that there's going to be some, but I mean, it's all legal, but you're going to, is there kids in here or anything?
What's the
Okay.
objection? I'm just asking her how long the video is.
the part I would like to play is when Mr. Myers specifically states that I got his wife fired, which he has used as the foundation for his harassment.
Objection, Your Honor. That's more along the lines of defamation, not harassment.
Objections overruled.
Thank you.
Can you lay the foundation for this one?
Yes, much of the harassment that I have received from Mr. Myers, and as you'll see in subsequent visits from his followers, were based on Mr. Myers claiming that I did something to have his wife fired from her job. And this is the first time that is explicitly stated in any of the.
That's Exhibit 5.
Correct.
That's admitted. The next one.
You don't need to play, Your Honor?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. The next exhibit is a paper exhibit. In the comments of this video, Mr. Myers responded to a question by stating that I was involved in his wife losing her job. I would like to admit this as Exhibit 6. It's the comments from the YouTube video, specifically when someone asks him if they, meaning myself, and I'm not sure if he means my husband or a colleague, were personally responsible for his wife losing her job.
And you have a copy of Exhibit 6?
He said,
Could you hand that to me? clerk will hand it to me. I will take a look at it, and how do you know that these are the comments to the video that's exhibited?
The comment that I want to admit is made by Mr. Myers under his handle, that all of these exhibits that is his YouTube channel.
Any objection to Exhibit 6?
Yes.
What's the objection?
Okay, what other people said have no bearing on this case, and it's First Amendment protected activity on my YouTube channel.
The objections overruled. Exhibit 6 is admitted. Exhibit 7?
The next exhibit 7 is also a paper document. Mr. Myers, using the same handle, posted a subsequent comment with my name, place of employment, and stated that my phone number and email are public information on my workplace website. I would like to admit this document.
How do you know that that's what it is?
It's under the same Lane Myers 2980
That's me.
handle.
That's me.
Thank you. Any objection to Exhibit 7?
No, sir. No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Exhibit 7 is admitted.
The next set of exhibits are from October 8th, 2024.
This is 6 or 7, I mean.
October 8th.
We're on Exhibit 8.
8. Sorry, I apologize.
Your Honor, this exhibit is a video from YouTube. Mr. Myers posted another video in response to a motion that my spouse filed in his Tucson City Court matter. In this video, he again displays my name, picture, contact info, and room number from the U of A website at approximately 54:58, telling people watching the video to, and I apologize, share the fuck out of this. He stated that all the motion was going to do was lead to his wife getting phone calls and emails at approximately 1 hour and 18 minutes. He also said, I guarantee you, I'm going to go to the U of A Law School and ask to speak to me at approximately 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 48 seconds. And I would like to admit this video as Exhibit 8.
How long is it?
It's because many of these videos are long. These are the specific parts that are referenced. I do have the timestamps, and I'm happy to go to them if the court thinks that would be helpful.
And how do you know this video is what you're saying it is?
It is the same video, the same YouTube channel.
You watched it personally?
I've seen it, yes, I've seen all of these videos personally.
Any objections?
Yes, Your Honor. This is getting bad now. Okay, so I got to stand up for a second. All right, so these videos are hours long. The way that you're letting her admit these, it makes it seem like I created this video and it's 14 minutes or whatever about her. That's not true. It's 2 hours. It's not fair. It's about my public record, about my case,
Mr.
about
Myers,
my motions in my case that are public
Mr.
records.
Myers, what's the legal objection you're making?
She's not giving the full video. You need to play the full video.
The objection's overruled. Exhibit 8 is admitted.
Your Honor, would you like me to play?
No, thank you.
Exhibit 9 is a paper exhibit. After this video, I received 4 phone calls from different numbers. These calls are depicted on Exhibit 9. I would like to admit this document, which shows phone calls that I received from various unknown numbers immediately after Mr. Myers live streamed the video.
And the phone calls are to what number? Your work number?
They are all to my work number that was shared by Mr. Myers and that he encouraged people to reach out to me at.
And I was looking at something else. I apologize. Say that again.
They're all to my work number, and they happened immediately the same day after Mr. Myers live streamed and encouraged his followers to reach out to me.
Any objection?
Of course, sir, that's mental gymnastics. There's no way to prove that these people called because of me, and you shouldn't be giving out people's numbers. She's so worried about all this. Why is this being put on public record? These random people that we have no way of corroborating if they were calling on behalf of me.
What's the legal objection?
My legal objection to her?
To the admission of the exhibit.
We have no way of knowing that these had anything to do with me.
All right, the objection's overruled. Exhibit 9 is admitted. For Mr. Myers, I hear what you're saying there. That's something for me to decide based on the weight of the evidence. If I can.
I'm gonna get to argue that right when it's my turn to go back. Right. Okay. Cool. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure if I had to make those legal arguments right now or just.
Again, you're interrupting me. I don't think you mean to, but you're interrupting me. Based on the evidence, I have to figure out if I want to draw an inference that you're causing this or people are acting in the way. We're on Exhibit 10, I believe.
Yes, Exhibit 10 is a voicemail. It's about 30 seconds. I specifically received 2 calls and voicemails from Deborah Moore at 360-633-9136. The first voicemail is Exhibit 10. May I play this exhibit, Your Honor?
How do you know what it is?
It is someone
You
that,
listen to it,
yes, I have, I've listened to it myself.
recorded it off your own phone?
Correct, it came directly from my workplace.
Any objections to 10?
Of course. Who is Deborah Moore? I've never met her in my life.
All right, the objection's overruled. You can play, Exhibit 10 is admitted and you can play it.
Thank you, and I will note that you can hear Mr. Meyer's video in the background of this voicemail.
This is not on the paper, sir. It's not on here.
What's the objection?
This is not on here.
You said this,
These phone calls were not mad. These were not on the petition. Nothing about other people calling her are on this petition as an act leading to of a harassment. This is all going off the rails. You're just, where is Deb? Show me Deborah Moore on the petition. Show me the name Deborah Moore on the petition.
Mr. Meyer, what I'm hearing you say is you're objecting that the evidence is beyond the scope of the petition.
Of course. It's not even on. Who's Deborah Moore?
You're interrupting me. Couple things. You seem like you're getting angry. Your tone of voice is changing. It makes it hard for me to pay attention when that's going on, so I'll ask you to lower your voice. Second, in my opinion, this is all within the time frame and the scope, and the petition does mention getting phone calls, so I think this falls within the scope of the petition. Go ahead and play the objection's overruled. Go ahead and play the phone call. That's Exhibit 11, right?
This is,
Claiming the judge. You see other things. Oh yeah, my confidential informant Mackenzie O'Brien doesn't feel safe. She doesn't have any fucking rights because she lied.
You're fucked, bitch. You're fucked. You fucked
That's
up
not me.
during that fucking idiot. You're gonna drag on. Already did drag you guys. So you're fucked. Matt Walker, you fucking responsible piece of fucking garbage.
Are you worried?
Who's going down? He's gonna wind up in fucking prison. You're gonna wind up in prison next to him. The general populace is gonna own all your fucking property. Stuff. And have on Sunday for this shit. You are done.
And that was Exhibit 10, and that was a voicemail message left on your work phone?
correct.
Thank you. Exhibit 11?
Exhibit 11 is this supporting document for that voicemail that I received on my personal work line from Zoom. I would like to admit the transcript and the phone call evidence of that exhibit.
Any objection to 11?
Yes.
What's the legal objection?
It's irrelevant and it's not in the scope.
The objection is overruled. Our last exhibit?
Yes, Exhibit 12 is the second voicemail that I received from this same individual. I would like to admit this voicemail as Exhibit 12. It's also about the same amount of time.
And this is one you listened to on your own voicemail?
Correct. Listen to it personally on my work voicemail.
Any objection to Exhibit 12?
Yeah, it's from a random person that has no connection to me.
All right, the objection is overruled for the same reasons. Go ahead and play it.
Are you the dumb shit that married Matthew Walker? If you are, you're going down in flames. Okay? Honey? Honey, just so you're aware, you're fucked. You're literally fucked. People are going to be fixing your ass in a prison cell for your corrupt husband and your criminal behavior. You're fucking criminals. You think you can pervert justice? We, the people, will own your ass. Literally. And figuratively. Get ready, bitch. Get ready. This fucking coming. We're gonna fist fuck your ass. Get ready, honey. Cannon. It's coming. You fucked up, honey. You married a fucking ignorant boob. You married an ignorant fucking boob, and he's gonna get you in a whole world of shit. You already had it. You just don't realize it. You're gonna realize it tomorrow. I guarantee you're gonna realize it tomorrow. You're fucked.
All the fucking legal fucking maneuvering and wrangling, you ain't gonna fucking do shit. You're gonna dig your fucking hole even deeper, you stupid cunt.
Mr. Myers, when that video was playing, it seemed like you were trying to hold back laughter, and then you kind of raised your fist up as if you were supporting the comments that were in that.
No, my suit's a little short.
I don't believe you.
Okay, well,
That's what the court's putting on the record. That's what it looked like to me.
that what?
That you were laughing and enjoying what you were hearing, and that you were supporting those comments.
I couldn't have been laughing at my text from my girlfriend.
You could have, but I just don't believe you.
Oh, okay, that's
I was
fine.
watching you closely.
Well, the record will state I got a text from my girlfriend telling me to calm down, but okay. Yeah, roll your eyes.
Again, I don't believe you. I'm just making.
I don't believe you.
That's all right. You don't have to believe me. Your next evidence.
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. I said there were 12 exhibits. There are actually 13. If you'll permit me to commit the transcript of the voicemail that I received on my personal work phone and have listened to myself.
All right. Any objection to 13?
Of course,
What's the legal objection?
out of the scope.
Objections overruled for the same reasons. 13 is admitted.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. There is one more final exhibit.
14?
This truly is the last one.
I don't have that.
It relates to October 9th, 2024.
Let's see what it is.
I don't have it.
1 second. Let's see what it is.
This is a live YouTube video on Mr. Myers' channel. He went live on his YouTube channel and came to the law school to look for me. This video is Exhibit 14. Mr. Myers first stands outside of my office door, approximately 5 minutes and 15 seconds of the video, matching my office door to what is on the website. My nameplate is no longer on the door because it was removed from the door on the advice of the University of Arizona's threat management team due to Mr. Myers' actions toward me. Mr. Myers asked various colleagues where I was and stood outside my office at approximately 7 minutes and 30 seconds. He tells my colleagues that he wants to interview me because I got his wife fired from her job at approximately 15 minutes and 20 seconds. And near the conclusion of the video, he states that he would have to try again to come talk to me at 28:11. I would like to admit this video.
And this relates to the allegations on October 9th of 2024?
Correct.
And you know this is the video because you watched it?
I did watch it myself.
Any objections to 14?
Yeah,
What's the legal objection?
constitutionally protected activity.
That objection is overruled. Doesn't prevent it from being admitted. It's admitted.
That is the conclusion of my exhibit.
Any other testimony from you that you want to have in your case in chief? And if so, you can head to your table.
I think I am finished. Should I leave the exhibits here?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you head back to your table? I'm going to have some questions for you.
Of course.
Your Honor, should I give these sticks to him right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
Ms. Walker, how were the YouTube videos brought to your attention?
I've had initially a number of people reach out to me to say, I heard about this. I've had colleagues who have seen them and sent them my way. Also through my spouse and his work. I just became aware of them and in Mr. Myers' channel. I'm sorry, I can't remember how I originally learned about it.
And in the videos, according to what you've seen, Mr. Myers gives your name and phone number.
Correct. My name, my phone number, all workplace phone number, email, office number, encourages his followers to come visit me and says anyone can come visit me, and obviously visited me himself.
And does he say why they should come visit you?
No, my impression has been that it was all so that I could be intimidated and by extension my husband out of no longer prosecuting his case.
And from your perspective, is there any reason Mr. Myers should be having any sort of contact with you?
Absolutely not.
And have you ever told him to stop having contact with you?
We've never spoken. I've been afraid of him. But, Your Honor, I will add that Mr. Myers has never in any way indicated why he would reach out to me for any other reason, and he has explicitly stated it was because I'm married to Matthew Walker, who is the prosecutor, or was the prosecutor in his case.
Thank you. Any other evidence?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Myers, it's your turn to present your evidence.
How do you want to do it if it's the same thing she already?
You don't need to, it's been admitted.
So we can both use that. I can call up exhibit
You can refer to it.
when it's my turn to go up and present and stuff.
You can refer to it. I don't know that I'm gonna let you play it because,
So if I want to play it, I need to go through the same thing she just did.
no, you can reference it. It's already been admitted. Just tell me what it is and what about the exhibit you want me to focus on.
Well, I want to admit it so that I can play it.
I'm not gonna allow it to be played. We don't have the time today to do that. So you can summarize what's in the video, what you think is important about it.
So we're not going to actually watch the video that led to an injunction?
Not right now. You can tell me all about it. Tell me what you think is important about it. It's been admitted.
About her. Am I supposed to be rebutting her evidence or presenting new evidence?
It's your case. It's your
Oh, I thought you wanted
time.
me to come up there with the computer.
Karen, I got it. I got it. Thank you, Karen.
Don't I got to bring this over here?
No,
Oh, okay.
you don't.
She said to play it on there, I do.
It's already been admitted, so
Well, I have different videos too.
what exhibits do you have that are different?
A recording of the hearing with her husband where he asked for the same thing and got denied.
Why is that relevant?
Because her husband, before this injunction was issued, her husband tried to get one for the same reason and a judge denied it.
All right, I'm finding that's not going to be relevant.
No, for her, he tried to get an order, a court order. Listen, maybe I failed to articulate myself properly. Listen, the case she referred to about him prosecuting, he came to court and asked the judge to issue a change of conditions of release that I couldn't contact his wife or make videos about his wife or say anything about his wife. And the judge looked him straight in the face and said, he's a news reporter. It's First Amendment activity. I can't stop him from doing that. He's not breaking the law. So what they do, they went over to Judge Walton and tried the same thing that they just got denied with the day before.
All right, that's not relevant for what I'm doing here today. I'm my own judge. I get to make my own decisions on it.
Another judge denying it is not relevant.
Doesn't bind me right here, right now.
So you're denying my exhibit?
Yes, I don't think that one's going to be relevant. Do you have another one?
Am I going to get a chance to make legal arguments?
This is your chance to present evidence. After everybody's done with the evidence, then I'll hear a closing argument.
Okay, so you see, so I want the email for sure.
I'm not sure you say the email.
The one that she put in here. The one that we said where it
I'll
says.
take it too.
Oh, there.
That's okay. Thank you.
I see your wife for you, right?
That's been admitted. I can't remember what exhibit it was. But
So anything that she already put in that I want to use, don't talk about right now?
you can talk about it, but I'm not going to allow videos to be shown.
I get what you're saying. No, I'm saying, right now we're just saying, do I have anything to add to this, essentially?
Any additional evidence?
Right, other than this. And that's what I'm saying. I wanted to add that hearing. Okay.
And I'm finding that that's not going to be
Okay.
relevant.
And you're saying with other parts of the same video, she wants to admit, there's a video on October 2nd. She wants to admit one part, I want to admit a different part.
It's my understanding is
She edited hers down to like a little clip. I want to play the whole video. I want to admit the whole video for context.
copy of
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's on the sticks.
Then which stick? Show me the stick.
Yeah, these. I got one for exhibit 1.
You'll be letters. So
Hey,
you'll
I'll be letters? Okay.
How many do you have?
I have 2. If you're not going to let me write no on the other one, right?
No on the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to do 2. I want to do,
So what will exhibit?
we want to call it A.
What will exhibit A be?
A is the video where I went to the school that she was referring to.
Okay.
That I stood outside her room and all this. That's the one I just gave her, so that's exhibit A. That's the whole video, not the little 2 minutes that she wants to show. That's
Okay.
going to show proper context of the news report.
1 second. Let me see if there's any objection to that.
No, I don't have an objection.
So exhibit A is admitted. Do you have another exhibit?
Yes.
That'll be B as
Yes.
boy.
This one is the one she was referring to. Let me see what I want to label this. Like I want to, because I know it needs to be contextualized the right way. Oops. Can I see that one for a second, just because I want to make sure I'm not giving the same thing twice? I apologize. I thought there's really no way to write on them or anything. Okay.
Is that still there?
Yeah, it's still A. Still A. I'll just have A. The whole video.
Do you have any other exhibits?
No. We got the voicemail. Like, I don't need to give you a stick with the same voicemail that she admitted, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And is there anything about Exhibit A that you want to highlight for me right now?
Me?
Yes.
Specifically, yes, my interactions with the staff throughout the whole video, from the time I walk up there, that I ask if it's public. Am I allowed to be here? Am I allowed to go in this space? Her colleagues tell me, yeah, go ahead. You want me to go get her for you? They didn't say, oh my God, you can't be here. You got to leave. They said, sure, we'll go get her right now. You want to go to her office? We'll walk you to there. I said, well, I don't want to go to her office. I don't want to like have her open the door and Lane Myers is standing there. I went there intentionally when she was not there. And that's what the video is going to show.
Okay, thank you.
I rejected, her colleague did offer to take me and I said no.
Any other evidence you want me to hear?
Evidence?
Not argument, but evidence.
Evidence, that's what I'm saying. No. You,
Let me ask you
it's self-explanatory that the petition is going to be in there, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's part of the profile. Let me ask you some questions then.
Sure.
One of the things that I'm going to be asked to think about is whether or not you have a legitimate purpose
Of course.
for your interactions. What is your evidence that what you're doing when you interact with the plaintiff is for a legitimate purpose?
So you're asking me to make a legal argument?
I'm asking if there's any facts that you want to tell me about that would
Material facts?
prove that you have legitimate
Yes, absolutely.
for what you're doing.
Absolutely. You want me to start now?
The facts, not the argument.
Oh, not-
The facts.
The facts? Yes. The facts are that the facts of why I initially contacted her were pretty self-explanatory in the voicemail. The reason I felt I could contact her because she's a state employee. She's a public employee. She receives public funds. It's First Amendment protected activity. I looked at we can't make legal arguments. I looked at the injunction for harassment rules. She didn't meet the standard. She never told me to stop contacting her ever in my life. I've left one voicemail ever, and she's never told me to never contact her again. All of a sudden, there's this injunction. So, like, if one of the standards is there needs to be more than one, and you need to be told that you're harassing me. I was never put on notice. And first of all,
Why do you think you need to be told?
because if somebody's being harassed, you can't just allow the other person to keep harassing them and not tell them. If you feel you're being harassed, she needs to go to, like she said, she went to the law enforcement. We'll get into that. But the facts are that she's a public employee. Her email is .edu. Her phone number is listed on a public website, just like your phone number's on a public website, just like your email's on a public website, just like your name's on a public website. You're both employees of the state of Arizona. It was a legitimate business. I didn't mention the case in detail, all that. I assume she didn't know nothing about it, but now she's saying her husband was talking to her about it. Well, that sounds,
This seems more like argument.
I feel you.
Any other evidence?
No, evidence-based talk. No. If you want me to get into my law argument, no. Okay.
Thank you.
Case law and stuff, no.
Ms. Walker, rebuttal evidence, testimony, anything?
Your Honor, I think Exhibit 1 speaks for itself. Mr. Myers left a voicemail saying he wanted to speak to me about my crooked-ass husband who's a prosecutor. He did not once ask to speak to me about anything that the law school does. He asked to speak to me about my husband who's the prosecutor in his case.
Who's also a public employee.
1 second. Give me some more detail about what your day-to-day activities are in your job.
I work specifically for Dean Miller. I write his letters, his remarks. I work with various legal boards. I work with attorneys. Mr. Myers is not an attorney.
Do you have any connection with your husband's office where he works?
Do I personally? We work together occasionally. My husband is an alum of the law school, and Tucson is a small legal community, as I'm sure you know, and there's just
But in your capacity in your job, do you have any connection with the city attorney's office?
Not really.
Yes or no?
Mr. Myers, you don't get to say that. I'm asking the questions. To my ear, that sounded kind of rude.
My
so
bad.
Please stop.
No, Your Honor.
All right, I've heard all the evidence. Now I will hear oral argument. We'll start with Ms. Walker because she bears the burden of proof. In terms of the elements of harassment, just walk me through why you think they've been met. And then when I look at the injunction, there is some language in it that does concern me in terms of its overbreadth. The last sentence says the defendant is prohibited from posting any messages or content regarding the plaintiff via any social media platform. That strikes me as broad and probably too broad for constitutional First Amendment type issues. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that and whether it could be narrowed in a way that would make it constitutional.
So to your question, Your Honor, harassment is conduct, not speech. I have copies of Arizona Court of Appeals cases, State v. Brown from 2004 and State v. Snyder from 2024, further explaining that if the court would like to review those. I'm not asking the court to restrict Mr. Myers' speech on political matters or general topics, but Mr. Myers has harassed me personally and posted videos about me on his YouTube account. In those videos, he has posted my place of employment, work email and phone number, and office number, and asked his online followers to harass me as well, which they have done many, many times. Thank you.
And the elements for a series of events and why this is harassing and whether or not you've actually felt harassed?
In terms of the, yes, it does.
What are the series of acts?
Well, I believe that is shown in my injunction.
I'm just asking you to walk me through it.
Of course. Would you like to go by date?
The first date, when you made the phone call. The other one, September 23rd, October 2nd, October 8th. Let's just take September 23rd.
Sure.
The YouTube channel, that was not sent to you, right? Somebody told you about it?
Someone told me about it, and then I went and viewed it myself.
So, in my mind, it's hard to see how that's directed at you.
I think Mr. Myers says in the video that he's studying his opponents and specifically shows my photo after that. And this was also right after he showed my husband's contact information as a prosecutor and implied that I am his opponent.
It's definitely about you, but I don't know how it's necessarily directed at you. The second one saying these videos were not sent to you, someone told you about them.
Correct.
October 8th, there are people calling you. Your petition says that the videos were encouraging, that Mr. Myers was encouraging his 8,000 plus followers to contact you.
Correct.
What makes you think that he was encouraging them? What in the videos supports that?
He explicitly asked his followers to share my contact information and to reach out to me. And the justification was that I had his wife fired.
And then coming to your place of business on the 9th, is there any reason that he would need to do that?
No, there's not. There's no reason. The College of Law is a building that has a public law library. Mr. Myers did not have any business to come see me specifically. He claims he's a news reporter. That was news to me. He told my colleagues I had his wife fired. My colleagues were put in a terrible position of not knowing what to say to someone that they knew had been, as far as I'm concerned, harassing me and threatening me with no one around at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. So it caused a lot of fear and upset for me personally.
And the language that's in there, are you saying that it's because of those cases and the idea that a court can regulate conduct and sometimes conduct and speech can be mixed together? Are you saying that that language is appropriate, or are you suggesting it can be narrowed at all?
I believe that it's appropriate because it refers to me specifically and the harassment, threats, and stalking that I've received at, not just from Mr. Myers, but a very large extent from his followers. If I were to put every single thing that had occurred, we'd have about 100 exhibits in terms of names, things that have been said about me.
Why can't an individual post I'll just use myself as an example. I mean, someone could post whatever they want about me, nice things, bad things, and you know, it's not directed at me, it's just out there in the public. They're allowed to do that. I know I'm kind of more of a public figure than an individual, but I think it would apply to an individual as well. You know, people might send it to me and I might not like it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's directed at me.
I do believe that it's directed at me specifically because of the contact that I've received specifically at my work email, my work phone number. I'm not really sure what someone might do.
I think that's different. If what I'm hearing you saying is that you're asking me to draw an inference that, maybe not an inference, but you're saying there's specific evidence that Mr. Myers is asking others to contact you essentially on his behalf.
I do believe that there is, Your Honor.
And the harassment statute, which is ARS 132921, says that a person commits harassment if the person knowingly and repeatedly commits an act or acts that harass another person, or the person knowingly commits any one of the following acts in a manner that harasses. And the first one is contacts or causes a communication with another.
Yes.
And it strikes me that you're telling me that these YouTube videos, what's in them, the fact that your contact information is in them, the fact that they are either explicitly or implicitly encouraging people to contact you, that is Mr. Myers is causing a communication through electronic means.
Correct. That is correct, Your Honor.
Just want to make sure I was hearing you correctly.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I do have, I don't know if we're at this point, a statement, if you would like me, a closing statement.
Well, I'll hear from Mr. Myers, and then you get the last word.
Thank you.
Mr. Myers, your thoughts on all this?
Can I go rebut what some of the stuff she said?
It's your time to make an argument.
Perfect. So, as you said, sir, you brought up the original harassment, however, but because this was a voicemail, that falls under 132916 electronic harassment. And also, in the injunction for harassment statute 12-1809, subsection E, it literally says, the court shall review the petition on file and any evidence offered by the plaintiff, including evidence harassment by...
Could you just slow down a little bit? I'm trying to listen to you, but you're going off
My
too
bad.
fast.
I would get worried that you're going to cut me off. I'm sorry. The court, this is, I'm reading a section of the injunction for harassment in and of itself statute, 12-1809. You know, it lists them, and then what is considered an act for harassment. For the purpose of this section, for the purposes of an injunction for harassment, the technical, the law is written a little different. The harassment you stated is not the legal definition for an injunction for harassment. 12-1809 E says if any evidence of electronic harassment needs to be reviewed, and then that falls under the electronic statute 132916, use of an electronic communication to terrify, intimidate, threaten, or harass, unlawful use of electronic device, and that covers social media. That law is newer because social media is a newer thing than the harassment law. The Arizona State Legislature recently made 132916, and it says it covers use of electronic, because we can all admit the first and initial 912 was a voicemail on an electronic machine, from my electronic machine to her electronic machine, and that's very clear in here that under 132916 C, this section does not apply to constitutionally protected speech or activity, or to any other activity authorized by law. And when I'm saying that this is First Amendment protected activity, because like you said, she made no statements about me giving her the videos or sending them and saying, look at this, or any of that, or okay. I said, here's her contact info if you want to redress your grievances with this public official. I didn't say call her and tell her about my case with her husband. I said, if you don't feel there's more to, I do think she had something to do with my wife getting fired as a law clerk across the street, but that's a different thing. And so that's more defamation, but we're not. So electronic does not apply to constitutionally protected speech. Also, this electronic alleged electronic harassment took place at her workplace, the University of Arizona. That would fall under workplace harassment, and workplace harassment, 12-18-10, injunction against workplace harassment, section M. This section does not, M2, permit a court to issue an injunction that prohibits speech or other activities that are constitutionally protected or otherwise protected by law, including actions involving labor disputes, all that. That doesn't really apply to me, but okay. And so, you know, I wasn't residential picketing. That's just kind of, I'm just saying what applies to me, the protected speech, constitutionally protected activity. And then this case has been settled in the area. I know she had hers, but LaFaro versus Cahill made this very, very, very clear. First, there's only one direct contact. That's the voicemail, sir. The voicemail, I called, I left that. We're not here to argue that. That was me, I left it on 9/12. Left that voicemail. That's the one instance of direct contact electronically through the medium of electricity to her voicemail. The rest of them, I made videos on my YouTube channel. That's my first, and I do own Freedom Productions, which is a news and media company in Arizona. So the fact she didn't know I was a news reporter, that's not necessarily my fault. She should have maybe done her research. I own a news company in the state of Arizona. I'm a news reporter. It's registered with the Secretary of State. So, I mean, this is what I do for a living. I do news reports. And so also in LaFaro versus Cahill, now I'm going to jump, because it said for under E, back to the original statute for the burden of proof to get an injunction in the first place. E was, we need to look at the electronic evidence in the light of the electronic harassment statute, because the harassment one applies to direct face-to-face or nearby type thing. And then, so for the purposes of the section of the injunction, that's under T, 12-1809T. For the purposes of an injunction for harassment means a series of acts over any period of time that is directed at a specific person and that would cause the reasonable person to be seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed, and the conduct, in fact, seriously alarms, annoys, or harasses.
You're talking fast again.
My bad. It means that it's a series of acts, you know, that would be, I'm just going to read it word for word.
You don't need to do that. I have the statute right here.
Perfect. So I'm focusing on the legitimate purpose part, and you opened with that, so we're on the same page there.
So tell me what the legitimate purpose was for listening to that voicemail that was Exhibit 1.
For listening to it or sending it?
Sending it,
For,
I'm sorry.
to ask her if there was any programs, because as it states, I mean, I feel like she wasn't completely truthful about her job. It says it right here on the website when you put her name in, that she's the Director of Special Projects at the James E. College of Law. As a member of the Dean's Office, Shannon manages important strategic matters, projects, and relationships, working with a variety of stakeholders that are both internal and external to the College of Law.
So what special project were you calling?
I was calling to see if they, similar to what you asked, I wanted to know if there was any relationship between the U of A Law School and the city's prosecutor's office, where there was any, you know, inside ex parte, whatever you want to call it, type stuff going on there, because Stacey Jane has the access to justice, and I wanted to go use it.
To my ear, when I heard that voicemail, your tone of voice did not seem professional. Your language did not seem professional. You used vulgarity.
I didn't use vulgarity.
Well, maybe that's
that was the voicemail somebody else left.
Maybe that's in the eye of the listener.
That was a different voicemail.
Help me understand why that's.
Because I can. It's my First Amendment activity, and I only did it once. And it's my right to, as a news reporter, to call her and address her in my way. I didn't tell her I was going to threaten her, hurt her, any way, shape, or form.
What's the legitimate purpose for going to her office?
To interview her, to see if she got my wife fired. Because so the reason 9/12 was the voicemail, right? Within 2 hours of 9/12, my wife was getting an award she was a law clerk for a federal judge across the street. At 2 p.m., she was getting an award on 9/12. At 3 p.m., she was getting sent home because somebody called over there, and I believe it was Miss Walker.
And the legitimate purpose for including Miss Walker's contact information in the YouTube videos and asking your followers to reach out to her?
Constitutionally protected activity, and I'm going to make that argument right now. So under LaFaro versus Cahill, injunction harassment which prohibited alleged harasser from any in-person contact with alleged harassment victim was unconstitutionally overbroad because of its infringement of alleged harasser's constitutional rights to free speech. Alleged harasser was restrained from engaging in political speech in alleged harassment victim's presence. So what it's saying is I can go there. In this, very clearly it says that I can go there And just because she felt harassed, it literally defines what legitimate purpose is in this case. And so it's defined the fact that you have to have more than, or excuse me, the in-person contact part, that is not, because I have the right to go there and ask her for an interview. And another point I want to make is that she claimed that she contacted her colleagues, the University of Police Department, all that, on 9/23 or on 12 after I left that voicemail. She claims that. But then I went there on October 9th to the law library building. Are you familiar with the building? There's the law library in the bottom, and then there's offices upstairs at the U of A Law School.
Vaguely, it's been a while.
All right. Well, that's the building we're talking about. We're talking about there's the law library, and then there's offices upstairs. So she's saying that when I first left that voicemail, she called the U of A police and they told her to take her name tag down, right? And all her colleagues were worried. But then when I went there on October 9th, instead of them seeing me, and they all knew I was trying to harass her, instead of them saying, oh, sir, she's not here, let's call the police. Oh, we were told to call something. They said, literally, sir, hold my hand, we'll walk you right to her office. These colleagues that were supposed to be so frightened of what's going to happen to Shannon, in the video, you'll watch them say, she's right over here. And I say, no, I don't want to go to her office. They say, oh, it's fine. It's open to the public. You can walk right over there. I'll go with you. So these colleagues that were put on notice, this crazy man was stalking and harassing her. When this crazy man showed up at her work, they literally, first, I met somebody in the basement, not the basement, the first floor, long before I went to her. I said, hey, do you know where Shannon Walker's office is? She could have said, hold on, let me give you a second, and go and call, hey, there's this guy here, he's the guy, he's looking for you, what's going on? Is there something we should be worried about? None of that.
Mr. Myers, I understand the argument you're trying to make there. Go
Yeah.
on to your next point.
Okay, thank you. So the statute authorizing injunction against harassment is not unconstitutional in all its potential, but it cannot be construed to exclude political speech from the definition of harassment, okay? So in context of injunction against harassment, a single incident is insufficient to support a finding of harassment, which requires a minimum of 2 incidents. That's in Wood v. Abril, Appeals Court 2018, right? State statutes concerning orders of protection do not authorize their use to discourage people from yelling or engaging in harassment of the type prescribed by statutory provision that governs injunction against harassment, nor do they authorize the use of firearms restrictions to provide incentives for positive behavior or to teach people a lesson about civilized conduct. And you said it, I sounded...
You're talking awfully fast again.
I'm sorry. You referred my language being uncivilized. That's legal. That's what Mayhar v. Acuna, Appeals Court Division 2, 2012 says, that you can't use an injunction harass to teach me how to act civil. Conversation between alleged harasser and third party did not, hey, you guys calm down back there, did not meet statutory definition of harassment under statute authorizing injunction against harassment. So the third party being my YouTube...
It's not the first row.
Hey. State statutes concerning orders of protection do not authorize, conversation between alleged harasser and third party did not meet statutory definition of harassment under statute authorizing injunction against harassment. Even though alleged harassment victim may have overheard a segment of a conversation, alleged harassing act was not directed at alleged victim. That's LaFar.
It's really hard for me to pay attention when you're going so fast.
My bad.
My brain turns off.
I feel you. I'm trying to. Conversation between alleged harasser and third party did not meet statutory definition of harassment under statute authorizing injunction against harassment. Even though alleged harassment victim may have overheard a segment of conversation, alleged harassing act was not directed at alleged victim. That's again LaFaro versus Cahill. Because essentially my YouTube channel is the third party, sir. So when I'm speaking to many third parties, we never refer to it as a 10 party. Whether she's one party, I'm the other party, a third party.
Why shouldn't I either find explicitly or by inference that by giving Ms. Walker's contact information, complaining about her and encouraging people to contact her, that's not you causing a communication with her?
Oh, absolutely. We have the right to communicate with her. I want as many people as possible to contact her, and they're going to keep contacting her under the First Amendment. Why didn't she get an injunction against that guy?
And why do you think that it's appropriate?
Because the Supreme Court has ruled on this. I'm going to read it to you.
Finish, please. Why do you think it's appropriate for you, in this case, to encourage others to call Ms. Walker to complain about things?
The people that pay her paycheck have the right to call her anytime they want, as long as they don't threaten her under true threats, which is what I'm going to read right now.
And you think you're allowed to cause other people to contact her on your behalf?
Absolutely, that's what the news does. They put out a news report and people call, and you know, I just what you just said. I can go home right now and make a video saying, "Hey, call Griffin and tell him he doesn't know what he's doing." You can't get me in trouble for it. I've done it with Judge Walton when she issued this. So where's the ticket? Where's the charge? You can't stop me. Those same people that called her called Judge Walton as soon as this was issued. I don't see nobody getting charges. I don't see nobody getting injunctions. And what they said to Judge Walton was way worse than what they said in that video.
All right, we got about 2 more minutes, and then I'll hear from Ms. Walker.
Sound judicial policy ordinarily motivates us to avoid addressing constitutional issues unless absolutely necessary to resolve a case. LaFaro has failed to establish the statutory requirements for relief under ARS 12-1809, the injunction for harassment. However, we feel, and that deficiency is sufficient to vacate the injunction. Okay. However, we feel compelled to address the unconstitutional application of 12-1809 to permit an injunction placing significant restrictions on Cahill's freedom of speech. The injunction against Cahill was unconstitutionally broad because of its infringement on his First and 14th Amendment right to free speech. I also want to say that the injunction took away my right to the public law library, which is my 14th Amendment. It's a designated public forum, First Amendment protected liberty interest. To take away the law library, I need pre- and post-deprivation due process under procedural due process. So there's that whole angle too. They took away my right to go to a public building because she felt some way. That's also unconstitutional. The injunction against Cahill, 14th Amendment, that's what I was saying, as well as Cahill's right to free speech under the Arizona Constitution. We conclude that 12...
Myers, you're reading from the Cahill case. I've read it a number of times.
All right.
So I'm well familiar.
All right.
with it. Do you have anything else you want to stress?
Well, I want to get this on the record for my appeal.
You don't have to. You've referenced the case, so everyone can pull up that case. It'll be there. It's in the record. Any sort of case that you refer to has been reported. The appellate court can pull it up themselves and read it. So,
Wow. So what, you want some more, you want a different one you're saying than that?
no, I'm giving you about a minute to finish your argument before I hear from this.
Okay. Then we got Counterman versus Colorado. The Supreme Court held the First Amendment permits restrictions upon the content of speech in a few limited areas. Among these historic and traditional categories, the unprotected expression is true threats. True threats are serious expressions conveying that a speaker means to commit an act of unlawful violence. The existence of a threat depends not on the mental state of the author, like you said, but on what the statement conveys to the person on the receiving end. So my mens rea doesn't come into that. Yet the First Amendment may still demand a subjective mental state, shielding some true threats from liability. That's because bans on speech have the potential to chill or deter speech outside their boundaries. And important to prevent that outcome is to condition liability on the state showing of a culpable mental state. That kind of strategic protection.
Mr. Myers?
What?
Again, you're just reading from a case.
That's what you do. You cite case laws.
You don't just read from the case.
You do. I'm citing a paragraph in the case.
We have limited time.
You don't get. I have as much time as I need to make my arguments.
We have limited time.
That's your fault. Then continue it till tomorrow, and we'll keep going.
I will not.
You don't get to just tell me I only get 5 minutes to talk.
I actually do. I get to manage my courtroom how I think is proper.
So this-
You don't have to agree with it. You got 30 seconds more to tell me what that is. I've read that case. I'm aware of that case.
So why are we still standing here?
Well, because I need to hear both sides and then make up my mind. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, that I don't care about contacting her at her house, but you can't take away the law library, and you can't take away my YouTube, and you can't take away my First Amendment right. I called her for what I made it clear. I want to know if she had anything to do with my wife, and if not, okay.
All right.
I don't need to contact her for that,
Thank you.
but I can go to the law school.
Thank you. Ms. Walker, you get the last word. I'm still struggling with that last sentence.
Well, you'll struggle with it all the way to this special action.
Mr. Myers, you interrupted me again. It's rude. It's not nice. It's unprofessional.
I know.
Please stop it. Ms. Walker, can you address my concern? Again, I just think the language is broad. I understand why you want it. I'm just not sure it's constitutionally allowed.
I believe because it applies to me specifically, Your Honor, because it has caused me more emotional distress than I can really mention here. I feel harassed, I feel threatened, I feel frightened. I couldn't put my children in this injunction against harassment because I knew exactly what Mr. Myers would do. I don't know what his followers would do. I don't know if they would try to look them up or call their school. This is fear I've had every single day, and Mr. Myers and his YouTube channel and his followers who are here in the courtroom, I don't know any of these people who are recording me right now because I work at a law school and am married to a prosecutor. I find that very hard to understand, that I'm getting phone calls saying I should be raped and thrown in prison.
I don't agree with
Mr.
that.
Myers told them to call me over something that is not true. And even if it was, Mr. Myers' wife, who I have never met, I don't know if she even exists, has other legal remedies that she can follow other than her husband getting on YouTube, making false claims about me, questioning my ethics and my morals, my professionalism, and making my life what it has been for the past 3 months.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna take a short recess and think about this, and I'll come back and I'll give you my decision. Once I leave, all the recording devices need to be turned off, please.
All rise. Thank you. You may be seated.
Sure.
Sir, when I say all rise, that means everybody, okay? Thank you.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Not right now,
All right.
not on the record.
Thank you. That's kind of what I meant. Can I say something to her, like, politely?
Not right now, sir.
All right, cool.
All right, we are back on the record. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. All this paperwork is now online, and I'm not the best typist, so that's why it took me a little while. What I'm going to do now is tell you what I'm going to do generally. I'm going to explain why I'm doing it. When I'm done, I'll see if anybody has any questions or wants to make more of a record. I'll start with the plaintiff, and then we'll go to the defendant. Here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be affirming the injunction. I am going to be modifying it, however, and I'll talk about the modification and why I'm modifying it in a minute. In terms of my findings, I am finding that the plaintiff is credible and she is believable, that she definitely feels like she's being harassed. I found everything that she told me, not only about her feelings and what she's going through, but also just the facts, her summary of the videos. I'm finding that she's all credible there. I don't feel the need to look at the videos. I think both the parties have told me about them. As for the defendant, I am not finding him credible. I do not believe much of what he said. In particular, when he laughed, in my opinion, and I'm finding that he laughed and was excited about the voicemail from the third party and the awful things that were said about the plaintiff.
Objection, Your Honor.
You can't object to what I'm saying.
I can do whatever I want.
Actually, no, but it is rude. I'm just explaining myself.
You're being rude too, gaslighting me by telling me what I meant when I told you my girlfriend texted
I'm
me.
giving you a chance later to talk about it. I'm making a finding of fact. That you
It's not a finding of fact, it's a finding of opinion. It's literally called an opinion.
Well, we'll disagree on that. So those are my credibility determinations. I am finding that there are a series of acts. I think the first voicemail from the defendant qualifies. The YouTube videos qualify. I believe the defendant was encouraging third parties, directly or indirectly, to make calls. And I think going to the work was another act. Finding that I referenced the statute earlier, ARS 13-2921.
Doesn't apply.
Please stop interrupting me. I will give you a chance.
Quit gaslighting the people, sir.
I will give you a chance to make the record. The statute talks about contacting or causing a communication. I believe and I'm finding that the defendant has caused third parties to communicate with the plaintiff through those YouTube channels.
That's going to get overturned on appeal.
By explicitly and encouraging them to contact her. The cases that support that are King versus Seba, S-E-B-E-A, 2012 Westlaw 209751, paragraph 25. That case talks about a defendant who made calls to building employees and others with the
Calls, not call.
with the intent to
Calls, not call.
Sir, if you interrupt me again, I'm going to ask you to leave.
I'm about to leave. Voluntarily.
You're not going to get a chance to make the record.
You're getting overturned on appeal with whether I do or not.
So you've been warned.
You've been warned you're getting sued too.
All right. I'm asking you to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that'll be posted on, somebody will mail it to me or something?
We're going to give it to you right now.
Cool,
Just
thank
sign
you.
right here for me saying that you got it. Sign this right here, saying that you got
Right
it.
here? Cool. You guys can talk amongst
Do you want
yourselves.
Do you want your disc, your little flash drive back?
I thought it was on the record for appeal.
Hold on, let me check. Maybe I misunderstood.
Right here.
Oh.
Signature and here's your exhibit.
Sign here. and
Why
then
is
take
my
your
exhibit not being turned in for the appeal? That's what we turned exhibits in for the record for appeal.
You've lost your chance to be here. You keep interrupting me.
That doesn't mean I lost my chance to put an exhibit on the record.
If you want to go outside
Just
and
sign
come
this
back
right here.
in 5 minutes after you calm down and follow the rules, I'll let you. But right now, you're not following the rules. You need to leave.
It's your choice.
Should you want me to leave my stuff here?
You want to come back in 5 minutes?
That needs to be, yeah, sure.
All right. Go outside.
Turn
calm
off
down.
your.
I don't need to turn off my recording.
Yeah, it has to be on your person.
Then I'm not, then I'm just leaving. Then what am I signing?
Sign right here.
If this isn't on the record, you're getting sued, you know that. So I'm gonna leave it right there. You don't get to tell me I don't get to put an exhibit in because I hurt your feelings, Your Honor.
Slip behind your.
See you in court, Your Honor. I'll be filing the appeal when I walk downstairs. Notice of appeal will be filed when I get downstairs and the special action against you. So is that getting in, or I need to put a special action on that too?
Please leave, sir.
Is that being taken into evidence or not?
You are violating a court order right now by not leaving.
Hold me in contempt, bro. I dare you.
By calling me bro is very disrespectful. By cussing at me and throwing things at my staff. All right, if we can have the minute entry note that the defendant has left. If the minute entry can note that on his way out, the defendant repeatedly cussed at the judge. If the minute entry could note that the defendant threw, what is that called? A flash drive towards my staff. It's an mention to note that the court repeatedly ordered the defendant to leave after warning him that he wasn't following the rules. He failed to do so, continuing to violate a court order. I'll now continue to explain my thought process. I'll add to the credibility determinations the defendant's conduct on his way out lends to my credibility determination about him that I do not find him credible at all. The other case that supports my application of ARS 13-2921, I think is State versus Snyder. That is 2024 Westlaw 342301, and specifically paragraph 16. That case talks about the defendant posting videos, and talks about several people contacting the plaintiff about the videos posted by the defendant, and talks about holding the defendant responsible for the resulting communication of those third parties not being so extraordinary that it would be unfair. So I think that case supports my factual findings. I do think that all of these acts that I've mentioned were directed at the plaintiff. I can totally understand why she is alarmed, scared. I think not only a reasonable person would be, but I think almost any person would be. I think it'd be unreasonable not to do. I'm finding that there's no legitimate purpose for any of these acts, and in fact, I'm specifically finding that I think the defendant's purpose is specifically designed to harass and bug and annoy, and I think his conduct during this hearing has confirmed that. That said, the order that I have sent, and I'll make sure that the plaintiff gets a copy of the order that I've signed, does affirm that the defendant is to have no contact with the plaintiff, not to go near a protected location. The other orders is what I've changed. The defendant must have no direct or indirect contact with plaintiff through any form of social media. That was basically in there before. The defendant must not post or place plaintiff's contact information, including her work information, on any social media platform. Defendant must not, through social media or otherwise, directly or indirectly encourage third parties to contact plaintiff or to go to a protected location. What I'm trying to do there is balance the defendant's constitutional rights with the right of this plaintiff not to be harassed. I think I've done that. I've tried to do that. We'll just note that I was going to give the defendant an opportunity to hear those restrictions and convince me if I should do something else, put different wording in there. He has chosen not to participate anymore in the hearing, so to the extent he had any insight on that, we don't have it. I don't have the benefit of it. Ms. Walker, anything I'm missing, more of a record or findings that you want me to make?
One thing that, Your Honor, I have wondered about, just that goes to my fear of Mr. Myers, is that I don't believe he's been ordered to not have any weapons. I don't know if that's something that can be considered, but that's something that was not part of the original injunction against harassment.
I didn't hear any testimony or evidence about guns or flashing guns or anything like that. I'm reluctant to do that without that sort of...
Okay, I understand.
I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, feel free to come back and ask for a modification.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else that you want to do? Any other findings that you think I should be making? If we anticipate the appellate court is wondering what I did and why.
Your Honor, I do have a question about the current videos that are still displayed on Mr. Myers' YouTube channel that violate this. I understand that things that are outside of protector are not considered, but he has violated this probably more than a dozen times with additional social media content. Is there any sort of consideration for him to be required to take those videos down that do display my contact information?
because unfortunately they do continue to encourage people to reach out to me as recently as today to harass me.
I'm thinking.
Of course. Thank you.
Must be a first.
I did know that I have the authority to do things that have happened already from a First Amendment standpoint. I'm by no means a First Amendment scholar, or although I do dabble in it, I'm interested in it. So I don't feel comfortable doing that in past tense as opposed to going forward.
I understand. Thank you for considering.
I wish I could do more for you. I apologize.
You have nothing to be sorry for.
All right.
Thank you so much for hearing me today.
And if you think there's more I can do from a constitutional standpoint, file something, file a brief, give me the cases, ask for modification, and I will listen.
Okay.
With both ears.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
We're out here today to ensure our natural rights are respected by those who swore an oath to support, protect, and defend the rights of the people. The purpose of all interactions is to peacefully promote government accountability and transparency. Please like, share, and subscribe so this message can reach as many people as possible. I implore you to peacefully seek redress to any and all of your grievances. This is a public service.